Let's talk about that waiting in between space where you're sick but you don't have answers yet. Because I have been there, and I can honestly say that might be the hardest part of the chronic illness journey. When I first started showing symptoms for POTS, I did not know that what I had was an actual thing. Maybe I'm really burned out from my job. Maybe I have a weird cold that's lingering. The very first time I started showing symptoms, that it was a dizzy spell and I thought someone had roofied me, but then it didn't go away. Over time, I was lightheaded, I was tired from things that didn't really make sense for me to be tired from. I felt like I had to sit down constantly. A week goes by, a month goes by, 3 months goes by, and I'm not getting any better. At this point, I didn't even have the language to say, oh, this is dysautonomia, oh, I think this could be POTS. I didn't even know what those words meant at that time. I was constantly in and out of doctor's appointments, urgent care visits, ER visits. I wore those little heart monitors all the time, but the only thing that ever came back was just a abnormally high heart rate. You have sinus tachycardia. When everything starts coming back normal, your appointments start feeling like, okay, here's a referral.
To get a referral.
Your friends and family start telling you, oh, well, maybe you're just stressed. Have they checked if you're pregnant? That is the first thing they did at every single. I think the worst part of all of this is that I started to believe that all of it was in my head. I stopped over-explaining my symptoms because I felt like they'd just see me as dramatic, and that includes doctors. I didn't know how to find a balance of, okay, well, this is really bad pain, but I don't want them to think I'm being dramatic and not believe me, but I also want them to know how bad the pain is. There's something so painful about knowing that you are unwell and being dismissed. You start to lose trust in yourself, and that's scary because you feel like you can't even trust your own instincts. But a small part of you knows that this is real, so you are defending your suffering. I remember leaving doctor's appointments feeling humiliated because I felt ridiculous asking for help, begging for help. And it's not like all of my doctors were villains either. Some of them genuinely wanted to help me. And outside of the doctor's office, socially, it is hard. You cancel plans, you feel the guilt, you're afraid that they'll eventually stop inviting you. They ask, how are you? You say, I don't feel good. They say, with what? You don't know. This girl is a hot mess. You start ending everything with, oh, it's okay though. Like, I'm good though. Like, it's fine. But what you really mean is that you are barely holding it together. I don't want to make anyone uncomfortable. Genuinely, you have moments of joy and happiness within the sadness and pain and suffering. You gotta find balance everywhere. It's really hard. If you know someone with undiagnosed problems, believe them. Sit with them without offering a solution. They don't need fixing. They need support. And to the person that is in that space right now, you don't need a diagnosis to be worthy of care, and you don't need a name for your symptoms to let yourself rest or to say, I don't feel well. I'm not okay. For me, when I was finally diagnosed with POTS, it was a weird mix of relief and sadness. Relief that I wasn't crazy, that there was a reason that I was feeling like this. And a sadness that it took so long. And a sadness to the fact that this is not a very well-known condition. A lot of people won't understand what I'm going through. And that this is always something that on some level I'm going to have to live with. But the diagnosis gave me a new language. It gave me community. It gave me a reason to stop beating myself up for not being able to do as much as I used to. If you're still waiting, I want you to know that I see you, I believe you. You are not alone. POTS or not, whatever you're feeling is valid. Your body's messages are valid. Your body is telling you that something is wrong. You're not lazy, you're not... What? You're not lazy, you're not dramatic, you're not imagining it. You are a human being running around like a chicken with its head caught off. That might not be the right... You're on a road with no directions. And that takes strength. I wanted to share a little verse that brings me comfort through all of this. Psalm 34:18 says, "The Lord is near to the brokenhearted and saves the crushed spirit." He is near to you, especially here. There are so many nights where I have been up in pain and I feel like the only one there with me is God. I'm like, God, help! And that brings me peace when I am up crying in my bed. If you found this video helpful or validating, please share it or follow me. And if you're looking for ways to cope with POTS or chronic illness, I have another playlist and another series that you can watch. If you'd like to continue the conversation below, drop the hardest thing that you have dealt with while waiting for a diagnosis and something that has helped you cope through that. Love you, and I hope you have a really good weekend. Mwah.